This is the story about how simply drinking AriZona has changed my whole life. I'm not to say I had the worst childhood, but I always struggled with myself. I had anger problems. I kind of hated how I looked. I didn't really look forward to too much except being at home and playing video games. I was a mechanical boy. I loved Lincoln Longs, erector sets, Legos, and more things like those dump trucks and such. That led to some struggles when it came to school. I didn't have a problem with grades, but I didn't like it for anything, and I had kind of a hard time making new friends. People made fun of me for how I dressed, or honestly, how I lacked to dress. I wanted to dress more, but it seemed that, it just wasn't an option. I didn't like asking my parents for things. It was wrong in my eye. There were some moments where it was too much for me to bear, and I just broke down because I needed shoes or something and just had to ask for it. It was a tough thing for me to do. I'm exposing a good amount of my life here, but I've also struggled with food, and people would make fun of me for that. I was always so hungry in school and would even go in the trash cans to, get a nice apple that was still there, or get a bunch of food from other people and ask around because, I was hungry before school, during school, after school, pretty much all the time. Those things have left marks on me, and there's things I have to grow with through life. After middle school into high school, it was still kind of the same old, same old. I was in a band and I really focused on that. I was working at Market Basket at 14 and doing some lawns as well. I started to get this passion for AriZona through my brother Chris. We were living together in the same room, we share a room, and we have a huge shelf that goes across. And he had the idea to collect AriZonas, pretty much. I have many fond memories of going to the store or going over to my friend's house where he always had a gallon of Arnold Palmer and we'd drink the whole thing. A thing that I've always wanted to do up to this point was skateboarding. And I struggled with starting and committing to it. I just could never get up and motivate myself or feel like I have the skill to really do this. So I always just, put the board down and let it rest until I started this AriZona journey. In the start of the journey, after Chris approached me, I started collecting a lot of these cans. It was a lot of fun. We discovered that there's a lot more flavors than we ever imagined. And the whole world was just brand new to me in this. Together we were kind of battling it out on who had more cans and whatever. It was so much fun. We moved into a new house where there was actually an even bigger shelf to fill. So it was like a 20-foot long, 3-can deep shelf. And we filled that thing up yet again. My first contact with AriZona as a company was when my grandparents from North Carolina came up, and I was on track to build this kind of display of cans, because I think I had 600 at the time. So the goal was to take everything from upstairs, put it in the garage, and line the wall. I'll put a picture here. And as you can see, it's pretty big. And my grandfather actually wrote to AriZona saying, hey, this is kind of cool, he loves your company. They actually sent out a hat and a couple coupons. So that was my first interaction with them. It was unique. Even at that time, I felt like AriZona should notice me, and it was cool to finally get that first piece of recognition. After that first interaction with AriZona, I bought some merch, did a photo shoot, and that kind of started this whole thing. So that was 2018, a very transitional moment in my life. I left some things behind that I needed to. It turns out that AriZona had a few things to offer that I was not expecting. One, a skateboarding team. This was the catalyst of me being able to skateboard, okay? Before this, I had no real solid motivation that would keep me to go and believe in myself. But the skateboarding team was. I wanted to be a skater on that team if my life depended on it. So I said, I'm skating every single day. And I did that for about 2 years. I dropped this dream because I realized that, logistically, it's not gonna work. Skating was so good for me. My legs built confidence in that. I struggled with the look of those for a long time and never wore shorts. That's the first real thing that has changed my life, is skateboarding, physically looking better. And then we fast forward a little bit, and all this merch and stuff that I'm collecting, people figure out it's unique and, you know, kind of cool. In school, they kind of, you know, notice a little bit. And that's interesting because that hasn't happened before. I found that I wanted to make some friends. And with this AriZona thing that I was doing, I wanted to take it to the next level. So what I decided to do was buy a bunch of AriZona cans and give them out to everyone. That's how I'd introduce myself. This way it kind of broke the ice and people got to know me as the AriZona guy. And it's a good reputation, I'm not gonna lie. That first year that I did that was incredible. It was tough because I was making about 150 a week at that point, and buying a couple cases of AriZona was a lot, but we made it happen. So that was kind of the skateboarding era of this AriZona journey. Moving from there, I started to get back into writing music because I left the band. I was kind of out of it for a couple years doing the skateboarding. That's been a side project for me for now, a while, doing my own thing. I found that the AriZona style I was doing for the first couple years was really over the top and kind of ridiculous. And I looked at myself in the mirror and said, I don't really like this. I kind of want to take it up a little bit and kind of just improve myself. I had some serious goals at my work trying to be better, and I busied myself so much, stressed like crazy, buying and selling cars, doing this AriZona thing and music. I was a little crazy, and still in high school, by the way. Once I graduated high school, that was a freeing moment. The past 2 years, I would say, are the best I've had it in my entire life. With social media being more prevalent nowadays, I think it was good in a way, but also the ignorance is bliss thing also kind of was stripped from me. Honestly, it gets my brain kind of wild. With this, I've of course created content on all these platforms and am continuing to do so. But the thing about it that's good is it has really exposed me to certain things that I've needed in my life that I've wanted to grow with. And with the tools of YouTube, Instagram, and whatever, I've been able to seek out help for my looks, my haircut, which I just did, how I dress, how I style, finances, even some AriZona things. And I mean, all that has been contributed to, you know, these people that help each other out, that make these content, of course, but my journey since I was younger, you know, everything we've done in our lives at this moment, we've been leading up to. So it better be good and you better be growing. And I feel like I'm always growing, always trying to improve. Right now is a testament to this, and the ideas that I'm trying to get is to be more disciplined, to see my goals and to try and achieve them. And AriZona has changed my life because it has completely taken everything I knew from my childhood and flipped it over and said, you can be anyone you want to be, even though you're socially awkward. You can be a social media person. You can go up to people, give them an AriZona. You can be a giver. You can give back even if you don't have much to give. You can be a person people trust, even if you don't think that you may, be worthy of these people. All the negatives that we battle with, you can be that change. And I've been thinking about that. There's been a lot of positives in my life and good people coming and going. But there's still struggles, there's still goals, and there's still things to accomplish. So what the future will hold for me and what may change my life with this AriZona thing, we'll find out. But thank you very much for watching. Please consider subscribing. I do intend on making more videos on here because it is a goal and it's a challenge and it's something I wish to achieve. Thank you very much.